Welcome back. Hi, I'm DeVonn. It's been a long week and I need a warm embrace from a...
What's a bacon, egg, and cheese? Are you like a New Yorkie chopped cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese person? Really?
I love a greasy thing.
What don't you eat?
Popcorn.
Why? You don't like it in your
I
teeth?
fucking
You don't
hate
like you don't like the smell?
You know,
don't like
yeah, you know what? Because in Virginia, I'm from Virginia, and we would go to like these movie theaters, and the whole theater smelled like pee to me, and I associate the smell of popcorn with the smell of like nasty movie theaters. And so the smell really just like skeeves me out. I can't do it.
That's what I think about weed.
Oh, for real?
Because weed to me reminds me of being in some dusty boy's apartment, waiting for us to do something.
Who didn't clean his room.
Who may not even be knowing why I'm there.
Period.
Right?
It's that.
and
It's
I'm
that.
there, and so now weed to me just reminds me of like angst and
Right.
college and not getting laid.
Yeah. I feel like that's just gay culture. That still happens to me. I'm like, we literally met on an app. Why are you acting like this?
DeVonn Francis,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's so nice to be across the. I wish I was closer to you. I wish we could be like kikiing.
I'm a very cuddly
Yeah.
talker. Like if I go to a restaurant, I like to sit two people on the same side of
Yeah.
a booth and just talk and be in each other's grill.
Yeah.
How does fashion and art, how are they at a different crossroads also with food and entertaining with you?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I fell in love with food at the same time that I fell in love with art and fashion in a lot of ways because of my parents. My dad was in the Navy for many years, and he, would sail to these different places, and I just have these like really romantic sort of ideas about him, going to Italy or Spain for the first time and like getting like custom made suits, and also I think just Jamaican culture in general, like very like dapper men, like really caring about what they look like from head to toe, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the sort of intersection of like the British kind of influence on Jamaica too. It's like these sort of like very sartorial things that kind of added to the whole sort of like feel and vibe of like what the island is and why Jamaica is so special. And then music too, like my parents were a huge part of these block parties that they were having. So just to go back to like my family is from Jamaica, but they immigrated to New York and Flatbush specifically, in the historically Jamaican neighborhood, Caribbean neighborhood in the 60s and 70s. And my grandfather on my dad's side had these projects, these brownstones, and he would have people in the basement. He would like throw these like sort of like speakeasy type basement parties, and the men and women would come and play dominoes and drink Red Stripe and just have a really good time listening to like reggae. And my dad was DJing those parties at the age of like, I think when he was like 14, like super young,
Right.
collecting vinyl. And music then just became a really big part of my life because I would just see my dad with these crates and these huge crates of records and be like, on a Saturday or Sunday when he was home, when he wasn't stationed somewhere, he would play music, and the whole house would be filled with the smell of incredible food or incredible sounds, and just seeing like my parents getting dressed up for church or whatever the function was. Like they just really cared about culture, and they were my first sort of presentations of culture, but from their perspective, which was really important to me.
You're forming worlds. You create products, you do events, you make amazing cakes, you do a lot of stuff. I think that you build worlds, narrative, and it's music, art, fashion, culture, food, people, flower. It's all of this. How do you know what works in your world?
Well, I think that the first part of knowing how to build a world for me comes from the fact that I was trying to build one because I wasn't seeing the type of history, culture, the dialects, the colors, the sounds that mattered to me centered in in mainstream media in ways that I think that they should be. And I think that perfect example, actually, like when I was growing up, I would like sit in my mom's bed and we would watch Food Network and watch Guy Fieri and Mario Batali and Bobby Flay and Martha Stewart and all these people, right? And be fascinated by these TV show, these cooking worlds that you were pulled into. But what I noticed about these places, like there were no Black queer people present in them, which meant in some ways that the foods that I grew up caring about weren't reflected in these worlds. So for me, it was about really thinking about what's missing, like what are the puzzle pieces that are missing that feel important to me first, because having dinner parties and being someone who puts on events, and as you said, is building worlds, like, you know, these things come up for other people too. It's like growing up and realizing that, you know, not everyone on my block had parents who were, you know, speaking in patois, you know, and moving to New York and realizing that people were feeling disconnected from their own sort of like mother tongues and their motherlands in these ways, and food was a reminder that you can have a connection to where you come from, and to take that a step further, not just have a connection to where you come from, but be a forerunner and bringing that culture forward, right? Moving that culture into the future. And so when I think about world building, it's really that for me. It's thinking about the blank spaces, the spaces that have yet to be filled with energy and life.
What I oftentimes talk about like audacity with people, and so when did you feel like you had the nerve to say, I am this, I'm doing this?
There's one specific instance. I remember when I was younger, I was in art school. Before I knew I wanted to be a chef, I was studying painting and drawing. I did art programs throughout my whole teenage life up until I left for college. And I remember being in this art program and wanting to go to this sort of like summer residency program, but my parents didn't have any money for it. And so my mom would literally go from her 9-to-5 job to then working in my dad's restaurant to then also coming home, and she would make food to then sell at her job the next day so that we would have enough money for me to go to this residency program I wanted to have. And I think about that story so much because it is sort of, it's like ferocious and tender and just it's so intimate and so.
It's so much caring.
And also just like it's like going above and beyond because you are so focused and so aligned on seeing the people that you love have success and to have joy and to be able to thrive at any cost. Mom, you're not even paying attention.
Oh
my
sorry.
God.
I'm going towards the fruits.
I also think that, I'm sorry, I know you're in the middle of
Yeah,
the story and
totally.
I'm interrupting, but I think it takes even nerve for number one. Your dad had his own restaurant at the
Yeah.
time, so he's out there like, hey, this is me, come by, I have something to sell to you, something for you to enjoy. Your mom has her own job, her own coworkers, her own politics with work, being a Black woman at work, and they're like, hey, I made this at home,
Yeah.
buy my stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's collective energy is also, everyone's collective nerve and audacity is fueling your nerve.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
audacity.
exactly. And I think that it really is about modeling for me, like having a template. I think about it too, looking back at my dad having a restaurant and also my mom being with him at basically every step of the way, making it happen, and thinking about like how that was really, for the most part, my first visualization of Black entrepreneurship is seeing my dad, retired military, say, hey, I want to have a new career, a new sort of take on life through food, through a space that was very much so like a cultural space for him, right? Like he was playing the music that he grew up DJing, he was eating the food he grew up making the food he grew up eating, and inviting people into that experience, and doing it with little to no technical skill or sort of like institutional knowledge of how that should be done. He just had passion and audacity, as you said. And so when I moved to New York, I think I moved with that spirit in mind. You know, I was like, I want to do something that feels captivating and powerful and feels like kind of challenging and far-reaching, but it felt important because I want to be that model and that template for other people too.
Right now, you've started a different new venture within like the snacking space. How was that for you?
It's really fun. It's really fun. I feel like the main reason I started is actually when I was doing more work with Bon Appetit, making YouTube videos, hosting shows with them. I realized that, you know, as opposed to having a dinner party in New York where, let's say, 60 people could come to it, I was able to sort of broadcast these ideas of family, identity, heritage, immigration to the world now. You know, the internet, the digital space has become this world stage, and you can talk about and challenge these ideas of who gets to own creativity when you think about consumer goods or packaging, whose face or brand is tied to those things. You know, we all for the most part grocery shop or have some relationship to buying packaged goods. And I wanted to create something that reflected the ideals that mattered most to me. The cool thing about my snack brand right now is like my parents are helping me with it too. So they're like on the calls with our like insurance people, with our our clients, talking about distribution. My dad just texted me being like, "We need to talk about distribution." And I was like, "It's Saturday, babe." But you know what? It's that energy of like of the excellence of Blackness and being able to put that in people's hands and people's homes was just so appealing to me as a chef, because I know that people care about food so much, so why not make a product that reflects that?
But also you're fun. You are fun.
You think I'm fun?
Yeah, I think you're very fun, right?
Thank you.
And so I think you reflect a lot on legacy stuff too. So I think about, in my mind, a boy from Baltimore and New Orleans, hot fries, Funyuns, not onion rings, Funyuns.
Love Funyuns.
Chico sticks, stuff like that.
The classics.
The classics.
Yeah.
You know, the classic junk. I'm not saying yours is junk, but that classic crunch, that classic dig in a bag and crunch.
You know what? Yeah. And it's funny too, because I think that the reason why wellness is really important to me. Yeah. I love the gym. I love face things. I love healthy food. Like my day to day, like I eat like it's like seafood, veg all day. But I'm a heavy, deep snacker. I love candy. I love sweets. And these are the things that I grew up just like sitting on like the stoop with my cousins eating during the summer. You know, those are the things that you remember for a lifetime. Those flavors, the things that like deeply embedded in our DNA is like that salty, sugary, like, you know. And I wanted to create something that kind of mirrors those really amazing experiences that I had growing up with you know, like your favorite chip or your favorite sour straw or what, like there's something so jovial about snacks. You know what I loved? I was like a big Laffy Taffy.
Oh, no.
Gummy candy. Like I love like a Gushers.
When I was a little kid, it was sour onions, these pickled onions.
Say more.
It's okay. Imagine a white onion, pickled.
Yeah.
And in the inner city in Baltimore, you can just get it at a corner store. In New York, they call them bodegas, but there they call them corner stores.
I see. Okay.
And so you just get it. They put it in tinfoil, and you just eat.
What's the size of this onion?
Like the size of an apple.
And you would go hang out with people after that?
And just eat it and snack it, and
I'm
it's disgusting.
screaming at that.
It is great. That and sunflower seeds.
It's like a pickle.
Just cracking sunflower seeds all day and spitting them out all day.
I could never do sunflower seeds because of that. There's so much labor tied to it.
Yeah.
For that little seed.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. The snack is cool. It's like cashews, walnuts, almonds, mango candy, pineapple. It's delicious.
What snack do you hate?
Popcorn.
What snack do you love?
Mine.
What quintessentially Jamaican food just doesn't get it right here?
Oh God. I would say jerk chicken. That's crazy, right? The only time you'll get good jerk chicken here is if you see like a guy making it in like a drum. But in Jamaica, they actually, sorry, I know this is rapid fire, but this is very important.
No.
In Jamaica, they actually cook it on these grates. And there's one place in Jamaica where they actually take pork fat and they baste the chicken with pork fat. So it's cooked over, exactly, pimento wood. It's not jerk if you don't cook over pimento wood.
And they also put like this tin thing over top.
The roofing.
The roofing over
Yeah.
top. That's
Yeah.
it. You can't do that in New York. You can't barbecue in a restaurant and a true
Iconic.
barbecue.
It's exactly.
If you couldn't enter a kitchen ever again, what would you do?
I would probably just like, oh man, that's a good question. If I could never enter a kitchen ever again, I would get someone to cook for me. I would have a private chef.
All right. What music do you play, or do you play music while you cook?
Constantly.
What do you play?
Right now, I'm listening to Hans Zimmer. Actually, when I'm making cakes, it's a lot of Hans Zimmer, especially the Interstellar soundtrack. But if I'm making something else, like recipe testing, it's probably like Tyler.
I do two types of music. I do hardcore fast rap or like house country beats for cardio. And actually lifting for me is, it's like sad stripper music, sad stripper rap. So it's like
Summer Walker?
No, it's like 21 Savage, kind of like filled out 6 a.m. stripper that's like depressed. The
Depressed stripper is definitely like on my chart
That's,
somewhere.
but I think that's like if I could never into the creative space anymore, I think that all is not lost. I can still be like a stripper, not in Vegas, but like Reno.
I want to be a stripper in Atlanta.
I don't think I'm good enough for Atlanta. I think I could do maybe like Durham.
I would turn Atlanta
I think I could do like Durham, North Carolina or something. Like, I don't think I'm quite Atlanta material. I think I could be more like Durham.
Or like I want to be like a stripper in like Paris. Like I want to be like a crazy horse stripper.
No, I feel like I'm small town stripper.
I'm like small town stripper who I like what's that movie?
Burlesque?
No.
Showgirls?
No. The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, okay.
I'm like
well
started from the bottom and now fucking look at me, babe.
Wow. All right. Anything else you want to say that we didn't talk about?
I think we covered a lot.
Food, family, stripping. What else is there?
The trifecta.
The trifecta. Thank you again, okay?
Thank you for having
All
me.
right, cool. All right. Does it have camera room to hug him? Have you pulled back and everything? Oh, so.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, okay. This is awesome. Oh, you're okay? Thank you so much.